Welcome to the Layman series. I am glad and thank you for watching. This session, I will try to focus on Layman and Geopolitics, session 2, and zoom in on the issue of war. As we know today, we are in a very tight situation as a war is going on between Russia and Ukraine. And really, as a layman, I'm trying to understand, why does this war come up? Why does a nation has to go for war against another nation? What are we achieving? So, to understand this, I'm trying to go back into history and see how war has been going on between countries and empires, and what actually have they achieved. So, going back at 500 BC, I see there has been 4 major empires in the whole world who have been going in war and conquering and warring and conquering up to, let's say, the Middle Ages. And I see that the first empire that has been recorded historically was the Babylonian Empire, somewhere around 400 to 500 BC. And we see that they were good warriors, warring against all the nations around them and people groups, destroying everything that comes in their path, subjecting them to slavery and taking entire regions in the Middle East and even Far East Asia. And it controlled basically the whole world during that time. The Babylonian Empire even came up to the land of Judah, the current day Israel, and destroyed it completely, took all the Jews captive into Babylon, and this is all recorded in the history which we can refer. So the war was basically giving them an upper hand, a power over the other people groups to conquer them and to subject them unto slavery. After the Babylonian Empire came the Persian Empire, or in history is recorded as Medes and the Persians. And the Persian Empire also followed the same pattern as the Babylonian Empire. They were engaged in war with all their enemies and neighboring countries and people groups. They took over the whole Babylonian Empire. They controlled all the provinces, about 130 plus provinces, which even reached Far East up to India. And they also showed that they had to keep on warring in order to gain control over territories, over the resources, over people, and subject them to slavery. And they kept on going. And then comes the Grecian Empire, I'm sure we have all heard about Alexander the Great, the young conqueror who came out of Europe. He went like a bullet through all these regions where the Persian Empire was ruling and took over all the Persian Empire down by using war. And Alexander the Great became the youngest emperor during those days. Same thing, the issue of war. The war was giving them an upper hand. They were good at fighting. Modern technology, they had their new weapons, better than the ones that the Persians had. And then eventually they took over the whole world. And now, after taking over the whole world, Alexander the Great didn't know what to do. He had achieved everything he wanted. There was no meaning in his life. And history records that they found him dead in his tent. He was drunk, and that was the end of him. So that also brought the end to the Grecian Empire, as history again records that the generals of Alexander the Great started infighting between them, and then divided the kingdom and the empire into various small groups, and out of which the Roman Empire came up. And the Roman Empire was very ruthless. They ruled longer than any empire that I mentioned, from the Babylonian and the Medo-Persian and Grecian. They also had new weapon systems, and they were very good at war, and they followed the same principles that all the rest of the empires followed. Go in for war, kill, destroy, conquer the people, take control of the resources, take the factors of production, enslave people, and it continued on and on. And eventually, the Roman Empire also came to an end, but this time not by another empire or war, but because of corruption within their system. And then history records wars again over and over every century till the Middle Ages, and keeps on going. Then we come the big wars that we know as in the history, the World War I and then World War II, and we have been having some quiet time for the last 70 plus years until we are in a situation now that a new war has broken out in the 21st century between Russia and Ukraine. So what do we learn from this history and the current war that is going on? We have seen that wars are basically coming out of the insecurity mankind is facing, and uses war as an upper hand to subject people in territory and land for its own satisfaction. So we can actually end up saying that wars actually come because of mankind, his pride, his lust, and his foolishness. So if we deeply look into the current day war between Russia and Ukraine, do we see a similar pattern of what has been happening in history? And is there something that we can take home with us and try and resolve this war as soon as possible? Is there any players who can come in and put some light into the situation and make these two nations to stop fighting? Let me put this question to you, my listener and my viewer, and put a comment about your thoughts. What do you think? And then I will take it further in my next session on this issue of war and where we are standing now and where this will possibly take us into the future. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself and be blessed.